Hey guys, Ulysses here, and I'm back with Dcuo's part 2 of Getting Started. So this is pretty much where you're at after you create your character, and you start off in a Brainiac ship as a created metahuman. And pretty much you're just going to learn, as far as for being on the ship, you're going to learn your combat. It's pretty simple. The controllers are really easy to use. They're not that hard. And you can also do combat in whichever movement mode you are in. It's much cooler if you have flight because you could literally just be flying in the air and just be doing combat. But as you can see, every time that you defeat one of the bad guys, basically you get drops as far as like experience points, and you also get a little bit of money every time. And back at the beginning, depending on what weapon you chose, it's really gonna vary as far as the kind of combat that you're gonna be doing. I chose martial arts, so it's mostly close combat, but it does have a little bit of long range to it as well. As far as for the triangle button, I believe that the character throws shurikens, and that gives you a little leeway as far as like if you don't want to be too close and you just want to have room to back up and get your energy, get your health back up, and then strike again. One of the most important things you can do when you're fighting enemies in this game is also block. Don't be afraid to block. Blocking is your friend. And we're done with the first part. The Brainiac chip is rather easy to maneuver through. Actually, pretty much any map in this game is rather easy. There we go. And then you level up. So the leveling up system works where every time you level up, as far as from 1 through 30, you end up getting points that go into a PowerPoint tree or a skill point tree. We're going to talk about the PowerPoint tree as far as right now. So I have 1 point, so I get to choose a power. And we're going to start off with this one because we have to. So we now have selected a power, so we can now actually use the power that we chose at the beginning when we created our character, and it's an electrical shock. And that's going to be at the bottom of the screen. You're going to be able to see your power loadouts, and pretty much throughout the game, as you unlock more points, you can fill that whole thing up with powers that you like to use. There's also different ones you can choose from. You only get 15 points altogether by the time you reach 30, so you pretty much get to pick and choose which ones you want. And you can also go back, reset your points, and pick different types to get to a different part of the power tree. Here I'm just showing the new power that we just got here. And it works really well. It actually stuns your enemies. It leaves them stunned for a little bit, giving you a chance to get up there and do some close combat to finish off the job. The lock-on system is really cool. You can't switch between lock-on characters, but it allows you to stay focused on one at a time. That's why it's really good to have a power that has a lot of AoEs. Those are area of effect attacks, because then it'll hit more than one target at the same time, causing widespread damage. And if you could look up there on the top right on your minimap, it pretty much tells you exactly where you need to go. You're never going to be wondering like where to go, because there's always an indication of what to do next. And the game also gives you hints. A little bit towards the middle of the screen on the right, it says escape through transport tube. So pretty much any mission that you're doing, the game is always letting you know what you have to do next. So it's very user friendly. Right there in that last battle, you could see I was doing some combat in the air. What I just broke right there was a treasure box. They appear throughout the game in different areas. Usually during missions only, they don't appear in the in like the free roam world, but they do drop some really cool stuff. So just make sure that you always pick those up whenever you see them. Another cool part about the game too is, as you can see, sometimes when you unlock a door, it goes into a camera angle into the room, so you know what to expect already. I just picked up a barrel right here. I'm gonna explode it. There's a lot of interactable items in the game. I just picked up a fire barrel. Basically, it explodes on contact. They have a couple other ones. They have an ice barrel. They have a health barrel, and I believe they have a toxic barrel as well, and one more. It was made by LexCorp. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but and even the enemies that you're defeating, they also drop things, as you can see. Um, Aside from treasure boxes and everything else, like enemies that you fight also give you drops. Sometimes armor, sometimes health health items that'll raise your health. Now, if you could see right there, I had a little transition out because the game actually froze, so I had to restart it and do that part again. But we leveled up again, and instead of getting a power point this time, we got a skill point. Skill points will go as far as for the skills that the player may have. Skills will be weapon types and also your movement modes. So within the skill points, you have another tree as well that you get to pretty much select. And we're going to start off with something basic where you just press and hold the square button and it gives you a new attack to use. I'll use that a little later. But unlike the PowerPoint tree, the skill point tree, you're going to be able to get skill points throughout your entire experience in the game. The PowerPoints only go up to 15. Skill points, every time something new comes out, you're going to be able to get more skill points. I'm not exactly sure of the max. I believe it's 130 or 140 as of right now in game development. Also, you can see on your mini-map, it also shows you where your enemies are. So all of the little red dots are usually all the enemies that you're going to be facing. So you're going to be turning corners and you're going to know exactly where they are. Although there are some enemies who have an ability of being able to stay cloaked, and they won't appear until you actually reach that certain part. And you can see back there, I actually just blew up a health barrel, but I don't need any health, so I'm not going to go get it. And a lot of what you're going to see in this game too is you're going to see a lot of solo playing, but you're also going to want to at some point, start working with other players. I mean, this is a massive multiplayer game, so you can do a lot of stuff on your own. Like as far as like this mission, which is the first mission, it pretty much teaches you how to play with your character a little bit, and pretty much from level 1 through 30, you can just do it by yourself. But then after that, you're obviously going to need to start doing stuff with other people. There we go, we got another experience point there. Every time you defeat one of these guys, usually it gives you an experience point. Now we're at the last part of the ship. We're almost out of here. And I also wanted to talk about the bars that you see on the screen. you're gonna have the green bar all the way up top. It's like a green yellow bar on top, and that's your health. You'll see that go down as enemies hit you, and right below that, after we obtain the power, that is our power bar. So every time that you use powers, your power bar will go down. It does regenerate by itself, and so does your health after a certain amount of time. I believe your power bar regenerates a lot faster than your health though. And then right below that one was a red bar, and that is your supercharge. In your power skill point tree, you're going to see a couple moves are going to say 50% supercharge to use or 100% supercharge to use, and that just means that if your bar is at 50% full, you can use it. If your bar is at 100% full, you can use that 50% move twice. Or if you get one of the moves that say 100% supercharge, that means your bar needs to be fully to the top, and then it's going to use your full bar to use that ability. There we go. Like I said before, don't be afraid to block, because that shockwave would have actually pushed me back and paralyzed me for a little bit. And if you can see, actually, all the way on the top left, right next to your player name, there's like a little fire. That just basically means like the role that you're in. Right now we're in DPS role, damage per second. They have different roles: healer, troller, which basically gives out power to keep the power bars filled when you're doing big raids or alerts. And then they have a tank one. And here we're just finishing up the last part of the mission to get out of the Brainiac ship. And since I'm a hero, Superman came to my rescue in the ship, and he's going to help me out here. I believe Lex Luthor comes to your assistance if you're a villain. And really, this last part is rather easy. You just have to continue to kill people, or kill the Brainiac sentries until Oracle tells you that it's okay to leave the ship and that the Brainiac fleets are retreating. But pretty much how you see Superman there with you, that's how it's going to be if you had another player playing with you. You know, they're going to be taking out the people as well. You can do a lot of power interactions. He's using his laser beams while I'm using my shurikens to throw at them as well, doing more damage. And there we go, that was the last part. Now to finish it off, we just have to talk to Superman. And that's pretty much it. Now we can actually exit the Brainiac ship. There's actually 3 exits that you can choose. I don't think it really makes a difference which one you choose. Every time I make a different character, I try to pick a different exit for whatever reason. And there we go. So we finished with the first part. Automatically transported you to a police station, which is pretty much where all the heroes go to pick up missions and stuff. So this was the second part. Thanks.